everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be working on my 2000 Wrangler here, and today I'm going to be replacing the power steering pump. New one in here. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Jeep sat for about 2 months, and when I went to start it back up, power steering pump was frozen up and the belt was squealing. Got it freed up by hitting it, so it does move, but when you turn the wheel, it's kind of jerky and not very smooth. So got a new one ordered off Rock Auto here. Just a direct replacement. So we'll get this one pulled out and new one put in. All right, first thing we got to do is loosen up that bolt there, and the one on the pulley, 15 mil. That's the tensioner. Get the tension off the belt, get it out of the way so that we can undo the lines and then unbolt the pump. Our 15. Put it right on here. Don't take it all the way off, just loosen it. So that loose. Put on the extension. All right, got it on the extension. Just put a swivel at the end, makes it a bit easier. Pass the sensor onto that really long bolt. And start loosening up, and that allows that pulley to go down. And just keep going until this belt's loose enough where you can get it off the pulley. All right, with the belt off, see, can't really tell, but I can feel it's just not very smooth. Kind of feels like it has some dead spots in it, and like I said earlier, when turning the wheel, it was kind of jerky, and you can kind of feel it moving back and forth in your hand. So pump isn't really working like it should internally, and that's how it's been leaking. A lot of oil around, so a good thing to get this off and to get this replaced. So next thing we'll do is we'll pop our high pressure discharge and then our low pressure from the reservoir that feeds the pump off. Make it easier to see what we got to do. Where that green cap is the high pressure discharge of it, so the line on the Jeep threads into there. And this one's also capped, but it's just a barb fitting with the hose clamp on that rubber line for the low pressure side. So we just got to disconnect the line from there and then get a wrench on the top one and turn that one off as well. Try not to make such big of a mess. I'm gonna just pop the reservoir off and have it down lower. That way when I take the low pressure line off, I can zip tie it up here higher than the reservoir, so we don't lose all our fluid. All right, just undid the hose clamp, pulled that line off, and the fluid smells really burnt, so I'm actually gonna just let it drain. I got the catch can, or the catch pan down there, and I'm just gonna let it drain out and replace it because it smells really burnt. Just get fresh fluid in it. All right, now for this high pressure line, it is a 5/8 wrench. I have like the brake line, like high pressure line wrench, just so you go around on top. You're not risk slipping it off and messing up the threads or bending anything. This set came from Harbor Freight. Don't need anything special for this. You don't use them very much, but they work well, and just get that on there and crack that high pressure line loose and take it off. Alright, got this broken loose. It took a bit of force and I whacked this, kind of messed up the mount on it, but I got it back on, so probably leave that off while you're doing it. But we're good because the line's not frozen within the fitting and the fitting spinning freely out of the pump. So get that spun out and get this high pressure line off. All right, line is off. Just be mindful of the high pressure sensor here, that wire. Don't pull on it too bad, but it's out of the way enough right now. Don't need to disconnect. And also look, there is a small O-ring right at the end of this line, and the new one new pump comes with, there it is, a new O-ring, so don't forget to replace that. If this is the original pump, it's a 24-year-old O-ring. It's gone flat, so if you use the old O-ring in the new pump, it may or may not leak, but don't take a chance. If it comes with the O-ring, replace it. All right, everything disconnected. Just 3 bolts, 2 here, 1 underneath, you can't see, but the pulley has holes, so you can line up the pulley with the bolt hole and get a socket on it and loosen it up. So we'll do that now. All right, those bolts, 1/2-inch socket, just use a small extension. I'm using a ratchet with a little longer handle. Get a little more leverage, but pop those bolts off now. Alright, that thing fought us a bit, but finally got it out. Just make sure bolt holes the same, and put it the same way. So that and that's the same. That's all the same. And the shafts look to be about the same size, so get this in the vise and get this pulley off. Alright, get this pulley off here. My 2 jaw puller wasn't slim enough to fit underneath that lip there, so I picked up one of these steering puller removers. Have these cups go around it, and this will go over the top, and then use this to pull this pulley off. So I'll get that set up and get the pulley pulled off here. Alright, got it set up on the pulley socket on top, the ratchet. Just use this to hold, and then you just tighten down on the socket. Pushes this threaded piece down into the shaft on top of here, and the cups are underneath, and the jaws will pull up on the pulley and get it pulled off here. All right, pulley's off. Just press fit on the shaft here. You can see pretty well now, it's leaking pretty good. Old one was. And this also comes with the installation tool to put the new one on. This part, shaft in here, is threaded, so all you have to do, thread that down, and then hold the top, and then turn this, and the shaft will go on. So we'll do that now. Alright, got the pulley just sitting on top of that shaft now. This is all the way threaded in, so we'll just hold this. It's 1/2 inch, this is 11/16. Hold that, tighten down on here, and that'll slowly work the pulley down. You make sure you look before where the pulley was sitting. This one was sitting just flush with the shaft, so we'll go until the pulley, top of that pulley bottoms out on the shaft, or the top of the installation tool bottoms out on the top of the shaft, and that should be at the right spot, just to keep the belt aligned, so we don't start throwing the belt off here. Alright, got this all installed. It's completely flush like it was before. This was actually 9/16, not ½ inch, but I'm sure all kits are going to be different, but that's the one I picked up. So part number there, got that from O'Reilly's. But yeah, that made it a lot easier, actually having the right tools. So now we'll get these caps off and get it bolted up back into the Jeep there. Alright, got the new pump bolted in. Didn't take the caps off yet because these are actually full. Come with some oil in it, so if you take the cap, you're just going to lose it all. So start with this bottom one. We're going to lose some fluid when we pop this off. Oh, I guess not really any. That line pushed on. There we go. Just get it up past the barb, get this hose fitting up past the barb that's there, and get that tightened down. If it keeps leaking, I'll probably end up replacing this hose because it looks like it was leaking out of this hose at one point. And now, don't want to forget the O-ring. Probably can't see it, but the O-ring right here came with the new one. Get that replaced and get that in the car. Alright, got the new O-ring on. The old one, kind of tough to tell, but it's very very squished flat. Not much elasticity to it. It's pretty hard, but new one's on the hose now, so go pop this plug out. It just pulls right out, and we'll get this put into place. And make sure you do not cross thread this fitting. It's pretty large, so it's kind of hard to, but just go slow. Alright. Got a good start to it, but maybe not. Get the hose pushed in all the way, and then bring the fitting down. Start trying to thread that in. Alright, once I get this started, I'll kick the camera back on. Alright, just got it tightened down. It was just a little bit of a pain to start the threads in there, but once I got started, it went right in. Just have to go snug. You don't need to go crazy, tighten that down, don't want to strip anything out. But yeah, just get it decently tight. Don't forget, plug this sensor back in for the high pressure sensor. Just unplug that to get the O-ring off. But now that this is all together, we'll fill up the reservoir here and spin it over by hand before we put the belt on and try to start it, just to get some fluid back into the system because this whole thing was drained, and whatever was in the pump and the lines was drained as well, taken apart. So we'll fill that up and spin it over by hand. All right, for fluid, you're supposed to put regular power steering fluid in, but if you look at forums and stuff, people say ATF is fine, because on these vehicles in 2002 and after, they switched over to ATF, and they said mixing the two has no issues. So I'm just going to go with ATF because that's what I have right now. So get this filled up. Try not to spill it like I did in the beginning. And I'm way overfilled just because it's going to go down from spinning this. So this does have an Allen on this side, so I'll put an Allen bit on and spin it over and try to prime the system before we start it up for the first time. Our 15. Put it right on here. Don't take it all the way off, just loosen it. So that loose. Put on the extension. All right, let's fire this up. Neutral, clutch, and key in. All right, running. Sounded a little weird starting up, but there's no fluid. That all looks good. Check our level. Level's gone down a little bit. A little bit of squeak from where we spilt some, but that's all right. I don't see any leaks from the high pressure line or that low pressure return. So turn the wheel. Get that pump whine a little bit. Probably need some more fluid now. Oh, fluid level's still good. Kind of tough to see, but we're still good on the cold. Right on the line of the cold. This thing shut off. So everything sounded good. Steering wheel felt a lot better, a lot smoother. Last thing I'll do is, can't do it now, I'm blocked in, but go for a ride, drive it a little bit, work the steering wheel back and forth, just drive it normal, and then check the fluid. Probably check it during the drive once everything's heated up, make sure that's still good, and then once we get back, I'll check it one more time. But other than that, this project is complete. Nice new power steering pump in there. Didn't see any leaks. I'll check again for leaks, but it sounded good. Power steering felt a bit easier. So I think this was a success. This pump. Sorry about that, video cut out, but that's gonna be a wrap for this project. Pumps in, looks good. Hopefully it helps if you're trying to tackle this project yourself. Wasn't too bad, just need some simple tools, but you do need that puller, but that can be rented from different stores. I just didn't have it when I went there. But hope you liked the video. Consider subscribing if it's the kind of content you like, and see you next time.